satisfaction, the dedication. He praised the dedication of the Ministry of Finance team for supporting him in delivering this breakthrough, while reaffirming Ghana's commitment to restore debt sustainability and accelerated growth. On his part, Mr. John Humphrey hailed the deal as a landmark moment in UK-Ghana relationship, stressing that it is more than just a financial agreement. He said the partnership is making room for significant infrastructure development in Ghana, proving that initiatives such as the 24-hour economy and the big push are not mere slogans, but real commitment backed by international collaboration. Also present at the ceremony were the UK High Commissioner to Ghana, His Excellency Christian Robb, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Patrick Numo. This information can be proven from an investigation of the individuals, banks, or the engaged monitoring entity being under subpoena to be sent to court if nothing is done on this matter. We are issuing this statement to the press, Interpol, the FBI, the US Embassy, to inform all parties and the people of Ghana of the continuing corruption in the country. This document has been submitted to Interpol, Italy, the FBI, and the US Embassy. All documentation of evidence and proof is available to be put before the budget be submitted to MAYAC. What the foundation is saying that budget be submitted to MAYAC. What the foundation is saying that after they have gotten Ghana to get to MAYAC, Ghana now has decided to cut out the foundation and now wants to within the international arrangement. This organization that led you to their funds, they are an organization that led you to their funds. They are entitled to some commissions. They are entitled to their work done. If he
yes, get up and number.
Yeah, thank you. My first question in every beginning, in every undertaking, there's supposed to be official identification, documentation, and also spell out what should be beneficial to all parties at the end of the day. Before that, you are a US citizen. You say you move to Ghana, but I know a legal body in Ghana to work and do deals. And this thing that you are telling us, where is the documentation to show that indeed you have actually helped the country and these are the blueprints of which you should all have skills.
All of the documentation that you're requesting from me is available to everyone in this room, everyone in Ghana. There are documents for showing that we've submitted documents, LOIs, to the Ashanti King for his teaching hospital. And those documents didn't just happen right now. They happened a long time ago before we were bringing the funding. So we have LOIs to the Ashanti King. We have LOIs with the government themselves. Every document from our lending institution, MAYAC, was submitted to the government, to Republic Bank, to ADB, to UNB, for them to conduct the necessary due diligence to find out the validity of the funds. They conducted their due diligence and returned black and white documents to my possession that the due diligence had been conducted, there was no adverse findings, and that they were prepared to move forward with us to bring the funding into the country after we submitted all the documentation for them to be able to open the accounts, for them to make certain that everything on ground was prepared to bring the funding. The problem I have is all of the people around me that had been with me for years and years and years in Ghana. And they made the decision to remove this from my hands and go and represent themselves as being the people bringing this to the country. And I have the verification, I have email proof, I have all the proof of where they actually cut me off. After telling me everything is fine with the banks, we're going to issue you the indemnity agreement to go to MAAC, and from there we will also make sure that you have all the necessary bank accounts. And in this doing, I can give you some strange circumstances, such as me seeing the chief of staff. The chief of staff looking me in my face and telling me, I will get this done to make sure the funds come in. And 48 hours later, when he told me, which I have text message proof of this, reach you in 48 hours so we can move everything forward. That was the end of the conversation between him and I. He never wrote me an email. He never communicated with me. He sent a gentleman named Listerwell to communicate with me, supposedly through him. And this gentleman, Listerwell, was one of the people who kept telling me, oh, for 2 months, don't worry, we're setting you up an appointment with the MD of Republic Bank. You're going to get an appointment. You're going to go and sit down with the MD of Republic Bank so you can explain the funds you're bringing to his bank. Even though all of his people around him that opened our bank account knew exactly what was going on. And they presented it to the legal department and wrote to me telling me in black and white, the legal department has completed everything in the bank. They are ready to move forward to the next step and bring $4.8 billion, $100 million a month times 48 months into Republic Bank. All of these documents that I'm describing to you, I have all of the documents showing the agreement between Republic Bank, the agreement between us and ADB, the agreement between us and UMB to bring the funding. But when it came down to the point of the documentation being issued to us to provide to MAAC for the protocol to begin, to bring the funding, everybody cut me off. Everybody stopped communicating, no emails, no calls, no people disappeared from Ghana for 2 months at a time. And these are people who I trusted, and I helped them and their families in need. And they were supposed to be my brother.
Let me talk about that point.
Yes.
If I am from something, to help somebody achieve something from you, and I brought the person, introduced the person, and then the next time that person comes to you alone and demand to continue with the conversation or the deal, why is it easy for you to ignore me and deal with that person I brought you?
Sir, I would like to answer that with saying this gentleman needs to be investigated. Seriously.
Yes, we are going to that. You are saying what? The opening 5 years are going to agree with Ghana.
Yes.
Go ahead with the deal without you being
With the government. With the government. And that's what they did. That's how they got around us. Is they went directly to a different person we worked with, the mandate. And they cut the deal with them. And that was it for us.
Then it means your deal is still pending.
It's pending.
So you don't have any deal.
Listen, Republic Bank has given us a letter, October.
My point is that
Go right ahead, sir, I'm sorry.
the company and you with another person. So what you are going to do? You still pending there.
See the projects
The
they
same
presented.
government
That's not true. Once they have received the money for the projects that we submitted, all the projects you will see that I can provide you were documentation, everything I gave them, including the projects, everything listed, and they went to MAAC, and that's when I stopped hearing.
and I met somebody different in Ghana President and presented the same document, demanding the same funds for it.
The fact that the borrower of the funds, who is my colleague, deals with the mandate. That's her relationship. You understand? So when, without me walking in and seeing the chief of staff, they had nothing to conduct due diligence on. They didn't know MAAC, period, until and presented all the documents to the chief of staff. That's how they learned about MAAC.
My point is that you introduced Ghana to MAAC, right?
Right,
With the projects.
right.
Then the person you introduced bypass you and went to MAAC and go and claim.
They now have to now facilitate the funds to come to that government. What Mr. Bass is saying is that, and to answer that your question, to that government. What Mr. Bass is saying is that, and to answer that your question, what has happened is that MAAC is not going after looking for specific individuals like Mr. Bass. Because, well, there's Addison, they all led into the chief of staff. They are all part of these projects. At the end of the day, they got to a point, they were not even communicating to him. So to MAAC, they might not have known what has gone down in Ghana. Because if Ghana's team is still submitting what is to be submitted, MAAC doesn't have a problem. You understand? So people who are supplementing, like you said, can still present that they are still presenting to even the chief of staff that we are dealing with Mike. Or Mr. Bass is aware. Yeah. That's his problem. That there are interfaces who even to the chief of staff might have even taken it that, oh, have you spoken to Mike? Oh, chief, yeah, we spoke to him. You are, they have not spoken to him. So with that flow, MAAC can still deal with the government without looking for primary global foundation. The funds will not come to him. It's the fund is coming to the Republic of Ghana, not Global Fund Foundation.
Just a middleman.
Here's my point.
So please, other questions.
My point is going to remain this. It's impossible for someone to bring this much money to your government, to your country, and you circumvent us and you cut us out of everything. Because
we understand that one.
Yes.
The missing link is what I am driving at to get to understand why it's just possible, like somebody walking into a font of water, the calabash and water and gold.
Let me interrupt. There's only one.
Who put the water in the pot?
Listen, there's only one way that you can understand this, sir, and that is for me to supply you with the MAAC documents themselves, where you can read exactly how MAAC operates and how this happened.
And this MAAC document recognizes primary as the one
Recognizes us as my colleague as the borrower. Yes.
leading this.
Yes.
So on behalf of the government of Ghana,
Yeah, that is why I
but
got
at that
this.
point, you see, that's when he has constantly said that at that point, there are interfaces. He just made
You come to me and
the chief. Oh, chief, I've spoken to Michael. How will we know? So the point is that he started with a group of people, and after he has submitted all the documents.
Let me say one thing, please.
After he has submitted all the documents.
Let me say one thing, please. Republic Bank, for their non-action and non-performance, I can show you a termination document. I can show you where, on behalf of the chief of staff, Listowell contacted me and said the chief wants you to rescind the termination. I said, why should we rescind the termination when nothing's moving forward with Republic Bank? Please, sir, you have to rescind the termination or we can't continue moving. I rescinded the termination based, they have the rescinding of that termination in Republic Bank. Soon as I gave them the rescinding of the termination, that was the end of the conversations between Republic and myself.
Shall we take some other questions?
What do you think will be the reason why? What do you think will be the reason why somebody can just cut you from a deal like this? Was it because your percentages are too high, or there's something wrong with your documentation?
If I have to tell you, gentlemen, the truth about, and madam, the truth about your country, and that you know all the videos of President Muhammad, every video that he's put out talking about these billions of dollars, he says no name of the organization where he received these billions from. $13 billion of the debt of Ghana was just paid off. It was just paid off. And I can show you text messages on my phone where I wrote to the chief of staff and said the next thing we need to discuss is the debt clearance for Ghana, because it's in paperwork. So everything that I was recommending, they've done it. They've done it. But in order to do it, they had to get rid of me and my partner. They had to get us out. And that's what has happened. Yes, sir. The way forward is that we are truly hoping that this reaches President Muhammad's ears, and we're hoping that maybe, since he designated it to the chief of staff, maybe he's not aware of what took place. He's just aware that the funding came. That's all he's aware of. We're hoping this reaches his ear and that he decides to do the right thing.
Lawyer, I want to know either you are trying to petition Iyoko to investigate the issue, or as a legal practitioner, what steps are you also taking?
Let me take that. The reason Yoko is not involved in this, and you should know something. I've been cleared through Interpol for 10 years that I've been in Ghana. Interpol suggested to me the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana cease and desist what they're doing in the country. All of that's listed on there, who they've been reported to. We've issued all the documents accusing everyone of, this is what we're accusing you of. This suspected circumvention involved in that. We don't know what you're talking about. Not one entity.
Yes, please.
So what happens to the pending lawsuit against these named banks after this press?
Thank you very much. I think that was a mishap. There's no suit yet. Okay. In fact, my legal advice to him and to his organization was that, from listening to you, I think to plead to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to hear him and now call those involved to understand their side of the story. Because he's basically simply saying that my organization has helped Ghana to bring in some amount of money to help Ghana's reset agenda. And we cannot at this point, when we have helped the country to bring in, even the chief of staff could be liaising with the people that is telling him that, oh, chief, we are spoken to the man, everything is fine. So President Mahama, chief of staff, might not even be in the known that he has been circumvented, and let the government to understand that this is what has happened. And he is saying with that conviction that this huge sums of money coming in to help all the infrastructure projects that we are about to see taking off is because of his work. It is what he has submitted to Mayor that has brought in these funds. And the funds we are getting is coming from Mayor. Because the argument is that if you get 300 million from IMF, you state it. Every country, when you get money from IMF, you give it IMF, World Bank, you state it. Exim Bank, you state it. And like you said, have you ever heard His Excellency state where all these money,
Billions of dollars.
when he talks about these monies, he doesn't talk about where it's coming from. So he's very much convinced that it is the Mayor project that has brought in these funds. And if the Mayor project has brought in these funds, the government must do the needful. You cannot circumvent people who have helped to get to this point. That's all. Are you
Getting the president to get this communication through the media, or you are from here, you are going to present his
It's been presented. He submitted a couple of letters to all these entities.
All you are doing now, you say you are petition to president.
No, we are not. It's not a petition. It's not a petition. This is a petition.
I'm saying that whatever I do, you have done some things in the past.
Yes, this very document I read to you. He's already sent it across to all the entities, and nobody has responded.
Yes, and you are saying that the president might not be in known.
Yes,
From here,
possibly.
yes, from here, are you going to now present physical document to him? Or you are allowing
get
him?
access.
So what he's saying is that
He can't get access.
So
It
that's
has
why
already
he
been submitted, right?
yes,
He has already submitted.
So why
He has already
you
submitted.
are telling him that perhaps the president may not be known to you?
That's why he's using us
Yes.
to do that.
Maybe
That's
it has not gotten to
Ah.
him.
Because this document we read has been submitted to the chief of staff
Yeah,
office,
they are
to
not-
the banks, to
That's
all the
why he's
entities,
using us, the media.
and nobody is responding.
Yeah, so we are going to do the need.
Senior,
It means that the U.S. Embassy has known about me since I've been in Ghana. They are aware of everything I do. So everything I do on the continent of Africa is known through Interpol.
So what he's trying to say is that his line of activities, where he goes to try to seek for tropic funds and bring it to African countries, he has been clear. That.
Yes. And I have the Interpol report to prove that.
He helps Ghana to go to MEAC and is successful. Ghana must. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the entities, let me run them. The entities and parties that are involved in the suspected circumvention and the legal case to be found as follows: the state, the chief of staff, Republic Bank, ADB Bank, UMB Bank, Benjamin Zuboku, Nana Owusumenu, Jukopia, Listowel Nana Kusi Poku, Kwame Nwako, and Daniel Evusi.
Are these persons staff of the bank?
Yes, they are staff
That's
of the
the people
bank.
he was dealing with.
Mr. Nana Owusu and Mr. Jacob Obinu. Mr. Nana Owusu and Mr. Jacob Obinu are direct staff.
And before this press conference, he has equally sent this very notice to all of them, notifying them, and like he said, none of them has responded.
And this is a personal one. I first met you in 2021 when you were bedridden with the spinal issue.
Yes.
How disappointing is it that you have to spend 4 years fighting about the health rights supports? How frustrating is it?
It's
4 years fighting about the health rights supports. How frustrating is it?
It's very difficult, and I'll tell you why. Because I came to Ghana from the entertainment industry. I am well known around the world. Work in the entertainment industry, I felt empty. I felt like I'm making all these other people millionaires. I'm, doing their careers for them. But inside of me, there was a void of, I'm not really helping the right people. So it caused me to get on a plane from San Francisco, California, and fly halfway around the world to Ghana, Africa. And I wanted to be here because I had a colleague that was here, and she'd been traveling back and forth for 18 years. She sent me a bunch of pictures of children here in Ghana, and I cried. Tears ran down my face like a little kid. And I said to myself, I can pull out one of my credit cards and I can send $200 to feed the children. And I was spoken to, and I was told clearly by who I believe is God. He said, the only way you're going to be able to help these children is to go where they're at. You can't help them with $200 from your credit card. So I came. And I've been here 15 years. That's my son, 12 years old, born at Trust Hospital. So I'm rooted in Ghana. And it's very painful, as my brothers asked, for me to go through 6 months being bedridden in the country constantly trying to bring funding. This has happened multiple times, but this time enough is enough. We are not taking this line down. We will take all the list of these people through the legal system. Whatever we have to do, we're going to do, but they will not walk away this time. They walked away when I brought ITI UNESCO money into the country, $15 billion over 5 years, $3 billion a year for the country. And they came to me and said, listen, if it's free money and it's grant, then why don't you just give it to us? Can't you just give us the money and walk away? And then they told me, and don't worry, because if you, instead of it coming to your NGO, if you help us put it in a government account, we'll look out for you. Don't worry, you'll be all right. How am I going to be all right and I'm the one with the access to the money? How you going to tell me I'll be all right? No, you'll be all right if you follow the protocol and bring the funds. But this money is not for your new phantom. It's not for your new house. It's for the people of Ghana. And until I take my last breath, I will be here trying to help not only the people of Ghana, but the continent of Africa. That's what I've been tasked to do. You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.